What's up? We are live. Quite the packed screenshot here. Got the South Park stuff, Fran Drescher, for SAG Afra, and Jada Pinkett Smith. Everyone's hated person of all time, pretty much now.
She's
like
definitely
such a bitch.
She's got a pretty large following of people that hate her, and I don't think it's just because they like Will Smith. I think they just find her kind of.
Yeah, I think she's pretty repulsive. Like, especially like stuff that we're gonna talk about today. Like, she is pretty bad. We got typical Busey stuff. We got Benedict Cumberbatch down there. We got a combination thing here. But right now I'm in Cho jeans.
I said no gag gifts, and Julie gave me Cho jeans, and I almost killed myself.
What are Cho jeans?
Chode jeans. They're jeans for a chode. Size 54 waist, 10-inch legs, fucking junk. Julie gave them to me.
It was just a joke.
I almost killed myself, Julie!
Russell.
Yeah. That's the way it goes with Cho jeans, too. What do you expect? I mean, what are my jeans? I think I'm a 30. I think I'm a 32. 31, 32. I'm in that range.
Yeah, I mean, belt sizes don't go
54.
They don't go small, medium, large.
I think there's a lot of people that are like in the 40s, 50s. So, you know.
Well, at a certain point, you just not bother with a belt. I mean,
I don't know, but like a 54-30, that'd be pretty bad. Like,
why are we even making belts at that point? Just let whatever the pants can.
Oh, I don't even know if there is a belt at that point.
Yeah.
I think, honestly, I'm gonna tell you this: like, when you're bigger, you don't wear belts. Belts don't really come into play. You just wear pants that like kind of fit.
No, I don't
belts
like
belts are out of the question.
I really don't like tucking in a shirt at all. I think it's one of the.
I don't really. I don't ever tuck in a shirt at work. Only once. We had to do a photo shoot thing, and I did wear a shirt that was tucked in, but only once in my life. This job.
No, I can't be the only time in your life you tuck in a shirt.
No, at this job. The only time I ever tucked in. Although all my shit's like, I like to wear like more loose fitting clothes. So all my shit's like way too big for me anyway. I'm like, I like to wear like an XL, like when I'm a medium, that kind of thing. Some, white tee kind of shit, like an Ice Cube. That's the style I'm trying to go for. I wear shirts that like a giant would wear. Would I put it? Yeah, that kind of thing. But I got some clips. I got some new Busey clips here.
Have you ever known true love with a woman or a girl that was very romantic?
No, not true love, no.
You don't know how to have that. You don't know how to make that happen, do you?
What?
Finding a way to promote romance to a young woman and plant your weasel and let it squirt. I'm going to show you the right way.
Plant your weasel and let it squirt. Oh, man. Oh, man.
I'm not doing it. I don't even want to be around anymore.
What?
I don't want to be around anymore.
Like you don't want to live anymore?
I don't know.
Yeah, I like how he gets in all this makeup for a prank show and has an existential crisis. Like, pretty brilliant. That's a brilliant show right there. Can't wait for the next season. That's like something to actually look forward to. There's a few things to look forward to in media.
Well, everything's been delayed, right? Because of the writing strike.
Yeah, I'm sure that did. Yeah. Well, I mean, and now it's all fucked again. That's what we're gonna talk about. It's all back to square one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which is kind of annoying actually. Like, it's a little bit. Well, it's not the writers, it's the actors. That's why Fran Drescher is in this photo here.
I didn't know she was still doing stuff. Is there a new nanny?
She's the spokesperson of SAG-AFTRA, and
Oh, she's like the player rep, like Chris Paul
Yeah.
is or something.
right. And me even saying that, a spokesperson, is very politically correct. She's the spokesman of the SAG-AFTRA group. I'll just say,
Yeah,
like,
they're like the one in the meetings that represents everybody.
there's no problem with saying spokesman. Just gotta put that out there. Doesn't matter. You know, like, why does it have to be spokesperson? That's the Jada Pinkett Smith universe we live in now. But as you can see here, the South Park has some a new special that's coming out on the 27th. I was actually like thinking it already came out, so I was like kind of gonna look for it and watch it before we talked about this, but it's just kind of in the works. They're probably not even done with it. But it does show you how relevant they are with their stuff. They're pretty spot on to their, making fun of everything. I like how they're not exactly a one political side or not. They're like, that's kind of how I feel. Like, I'm not all on one side. I can make fun of like the left a lot lately these days, but still, like, I don't exactly like the conservative crowd either. Like, I don't think Trump is a savior. I think it's like the opposite. I think they're all really bad. I think it's all a ploy. It's all a giant ploy to make you one side or the other. You got to pick a team. I'm not picking a team.
Yeah, I mean that's why there's 2 and not 3. You know,
Or 4
There's
or 5 or
3.
6.
Well,
Or
even 3.
infinite.
3 would be enough to make it more complicated.
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably gonna vote for JFK Jr. as an independent, and that'll piss off I actually probably will vote, because I will vote for an independent. I won't vote for a Republican or Democrat these days. I won't do it. But that pisses off like both sides when you vote for independent, because like whoever loses, like, oh, it's because it's because these people voted for this, and then that's why Hillary lost. I remember hearing that.
Well, if you vote
I think I voted for
someone
the
who has
Green
no
Party.
chance to even win, you might as well not even vote.
I mean, I can't. I couldn't. I mean, I don't hate the guy, but I couldn't possibly vote for Trump. And I don't like hate the guy with Biden either, but I couldn't possibly vote for Biden. That's sort of how I feel. Not gonna vote for either. I'm not on anyone's side. JFK Jr. I kind of like. Got fucked up. I mean, if JFK was a Democrat, I'd vote for him, but Democrats fucked him over. They're already starting to make fun of him and say he's a Trump troll, all that kind of shit.
I thought they're gonna go with conspiracy theorist or
Yeah, and that too. Yep. Because he does have a book against Fauci. He's got an anti-Fauci book.
The easiest way to, try and delegitimize anything is just say you're a conspiracy theorist. Doesn't matter if it's based in fact or anything.
Yeah, it's funny how that term has become like, yeah, like exactly what you're saying. Like it becomes like offensive to people, where there are like real fucking conspiracies that are like proven. Gulf of Tonkin, Iran Contra, even JFK. Does anyone really believe what they're telling you on that? Like, there's so many fucking real conspiracies, and then you get these Q assholes that kind of fuck it all up to make you think conspiracies are all ridiculous. And I don't know. I think
I wonder if like every person is like a plant on each side, just to try and legitimize everything. Because then all you're left with.
I feel like it. I feel like Trump was was set up for Hillary to win, and they kept saying like, "Oh, Hillary's gonna win. You don't even have to vote. Don't even worry about voting." That was like the whole thing with that.
Well, what changed?
I think people didn't like her. I think that's it. But I don't know. Like I kind of like don't even know if elections are real or not.
Almost like it was fixed for her, but she was just so obnoxious and annoying to deal with it. Nobody wanted to actually let it happen.
Because I mean, I don't know, because I think I think it's always fixed no matter what happens. You know what I mean? So even Trump winning, I think, was
Yeah, no.
essentially.
You think they're gonna let anything be on the whim of a bunch of idiots? You know,
I don't know. And
like
I mean,
the
I'll
general
say I don't like.
population are mouth breathers who are lucky to even show up to place anything.
And I don't like Trump or anything, or I don't like Biden, but the fact that Biden got more votes than any single election ever is like insane. Like I will say that that's a little suspect that he got the most votes ever, more than Obama got on his first term. Like Obama 2008, back when he was like the savior. Yeah, I don't buy it. I don't buy it. Something's weird there. That's where I will say there probably was some sort of election fixing, and there probably always is. And even though Trump won, it probably still was sort of fixed for Trump because guess what? He's probably part of the in crowd too. He's probably part of that bad crew too. Although these cute nonsense people want to think he's like Jesus, I don't think so. Furthest thing from. He's the swamp monster. He's not clean up the swamp. He's the swamp monster. But let's talk about good old South Park. It's been off the air for a little bit. As far as a recent show. It's been a couple months. Been a few months. I know you probably haven't watched South Park in a long time, right?
Well, I don't have a Cartoon Network. Or what is it on now?
It's on HBO now.
Oh, yeah.
And I think
that's long ago since I.
it's really weird though. It's like they're doing movies here or there that go on to Paramount Plus that are like hour-long movies, in quotes, movies, and then their TV series is being played on Max. So it's like their whole rights are split, which is I think probably for them it's pretty awesome. They're getting paid both ways. But I don't know. I think Comedy Central, I guess, is all fucked over with that. And that used to make Comedy Central pretty much was South Park for a long time. That's how they like were able to exist. But yeah, talking about South Park, their new special is mocking the gender race swapping that we're seeing in Hollywood all the time. And I think fans are kind of tired of this kind of woke garbage with all the race swapping and gender swapping. I mean, the first thing that comes to mind here is now 7 years old with Ghostbusters, the Ghostbusters race and gender swap.
Yeah, the Oceans one. But
speaking of which,
the
I was
lack
thinking
of sales on this
Oh, yeah,
never
Ocean's
seemed to
11.
stop anybody from making more of them. You know? You
Yeah,
can't
well,
learn the lesson, and it's not marketing. It's not marketable and not working.
well, the funny thing is the word is with that the WGA strike that's now over is that the studios like one of their like things they want to happen to end the strike was that you guys need to stop with the diversity hires and stop with the woke identity stuff. So the studios are pretty like they know like this shit is not working and not selling, which does make you think it's
you
pretty
think
much
about it, like
writers.
the market they're trying to cater to is so small compared to everything else. It doesn't even make sense.
It's not that it's small, it's that it's 50%. It's like think of like the Democratic Republic. It's like a 50 it's basically we're in a 50-50 split country. Why would you like try to not accommodate 50% and just accommodate the it's like that's stupid. That shouldn't be involved in your movie making or TV show making. Don't worry about that. Get rid of that shit. But yeah, you know what I was thinking about though? That Ghostbuster symbol with like the X or the ghost is anti-ghost. It's not pro-ghost. It's pretty prejudiced towards ghost. So that's some cancel culture.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? It's anti-ghost. Right? When's that going to come into play? Ghost rights, man. Ghost lives matter. But yeah, the first one here that I could really think of was Ghostbusters. Then you're right. Oceans, whatever. Oceans 18 or whatever. I don't know what they're calling it anymore.
There's more than that. It's got to be like 24. A list somebody made.
The next one I could think of was the Peter Pan reboot with a race swapped Tinkerbell and a gender swapped Lost Boys. The Lost Boys weren't all female. There was a bunch of girls. It weren't all male. It was like a bunch of females. It was a very strange choice. But this was
Yeah, I
Tinkerbell.
remember that reboot getting shit on pretty hard. What's his name? Jude Law or
Yeah, I think he was in
who
it.
played Captain Hook? Yeah, people said his acting was fucking terrible, and I don't know. There was a lot of people were comparing it to that Willow reboot where it
Yeah.
and Rings of Power too, where it had these like pygmy dwarf type things that just felt so throwaway and like some almost like a flex
Yeah.
race, you know,
Yep.
like we just mixed it in to fill some kind of weird void that wasn't there. And I don't know. You see 3 or 4 different movies doing the same thing, and it becomes a trend.
Oh yeah, it becomes a thing. But you know what? Also, kind of with this, like, Peter Pan kind of bullshit race swap thing. There's a lot of issues with what was I trying to say? I had something in mind and I lost it. It's against white people. That's all I'll say. No, I had a point. What was I trying to say? What was my point? Gotta go back to the drawing board on that. This is
What
why.
other race swaps are there? Like, what are the lesser known ones?
Oh, I'm sure there's a bunch of lesser known ones, but another one that was big was obvious here was Little Mermaid. Here you go. Everyone's in this quote.
You're talking
here,
like ensembles where it's like 3 or 4 guys and then they're all replaced.
no, that was
You
a
know,
Ghostbusters for
on
sure.
team.
Yeah, I mean the racist backlash. I like this title too. The racist backlash to
You know
Little
what's
Mermaid
surprised
and
by
Lord of the
is, like,
Rings.
you see, like a gay guy version of Charlie's Angels where it's 3 gay guys.
Right? Why not? Exactly.
I
Why
don't
not
know.
have?
I thought like during Queer Eye and all that stuff, you know, that would have been something maybe there was a market for it, you know,
Yeah.
to try it. But
Why
doesn't
not
it feel
make-
kind of hypocritical, like in a way, because it's okay
It
if
does.
you're a bunch of lesbians, but if it's a bunch of gay guys, then I guess it's too much.
Like, why not make little women rebooted as little men and put,
Right? Yeah. No,
bunch
that's
of
what I'm
men-
talking about. Like it feels very picky on like what battles you want to fight, and and like what things you want to do.
I love this headline too. The racist backlash to Little Mermaid and Lord of the Rings is exhausting and extremely predictable. I love how they like to like subtly make fun of the people who dislike the stuff that you should dislike, but oh yeah, that's predictable. That's so predictable for you to dislike this. Oh yeah, because it sucks. Like, is that why everyone dislikes it? Because you know it sucks as well.
Well,
Like, I don't even know what you're trying to say.
Once you see that it's going downhill, you either play the victim card or you gotta deflect.
Oh yeah, and then also another recent one that hasn't come out yet, but I'm all over this one. This one I will watch. I will cover it. I'm gonna be waiting for it to come out because I got it marked on my calendar. Is the Snow White reboot, and yeah, not the fairest of them all. Rachel Zegler. Look at that awful photo of her, by the way. Like,
Is
I have
it
to
actually
say,
gonna still come out or what?
I think it's gonna come out. I
thought you said there were rumors of her being replaced. You think that could happen?
There's rumors of her being the place. I don't buy it. I think she'll still be in it, but I do think that this might not come out the theaters. I think it will maybe just come out streaming. I mean, honestly, why even put something out even to theaters anymore? This will probably just be a streaming bullshit. But look how honestly she's not looking too good here without makeup. By the way,
No.
she's
I mean, she
not
looked
looking
that
too
great with
fair.
it.
But yeah, a Spanish. I mean, here you go. Here's her with makeup. She does look a lot better with it.
You know what's sad is like
It's like night and day.
everyone
actually.
hated Brie Larson, and now it's like, God, Brie Larson compared to this. I mean, shit. Give me Brie Larson complaining about Superwoman or some shit.
No, yeah, Brie Larson's like in ads for Nissan or Honda or something. She actually, have to say, man, she always looks good. I'll give her that. She looks good.
Better than this
Um,
shit.
Yeah, that's kind of what I mean. Like, she looks a lot better than this. She's way more. She's an attractive person. This is borderline. Oh, and then
She's
also
got a
the
big
newest.
chin, very strong chin.
Yeah,
Which maybe that could
quarterback.
play into like the whole hermaphrodite, Jamie Lee Curtis type of stuff.
Yeah, chin you want on a quarterback type chin. And the newest one is Robin Hood. Robin with a Y. The Y is the illiterate answer there too. Why? Why put Robin with a Y? Why make this show? But yeah, in Robin Hood we have Robin Hood being race swapped, Robin Hood being gender swapped, and also she's bisexual. So you got everything going on in there. And I think even in Ghostbusters there was a bisexual character. Egon, the race swapped Egon was bisexual. Pretty sure. There was some gay lesbian comments in that movie, I remember. I do remember that. Oh yeah. But this one, as we saw, this is 1.0 on IMDb, so people aren't liking this. Like, no one's liking this. That's why the studio has to know, like, this shit's fucking stupid. Even South Park knows this is
Yeah,
stupid.
but I mean,
They're
they didn't see this coming. Like, this is a surprise.
No, I think they did, man. I think they did. I think they just trusted too much in the writers. They gave the writers too much leeway. Like, I'm sure everyone who's like doing analytics and seeing the ratings, they're like, this isn't working. Like, but like, you still have to hire writers, and they're like, we kind of got to hire these people. They seem to say this is what should happen. I don't know. Like, I feel like the Hollywood system has trusted creative writers a little too much. And now the creative writers have gone just super woke, and that might not be what you should have, That's what it at least feels like.
Well, I mean, that's the thing is like, do you just want Chat GP scripts forever, or do you want people who actually try and give a shit and do something with it instead of like some formula is going to profit?
Well, the thing is, I think ChatGPT might actually go on things that worked. Like they'll go off.
That's
of
the issue. Is like once that
work.
shit starts to make money, it's like, then fuck it, we're not going back.
Yeah, that's could happen too, where it's like a fully written movie.
I mean, you don't think AI is going to replace all of us in one way or another?
Yeah, no, and even myself the most. Like, I mean, I do graphic design, web design. I think I'm probably gonna be quick to go. They'll be able to spit out a template that I can make.
Some programmer is just trying to find out a way to make your job more efficient, and then he's just making sure like the version of you is running correctly, and you're not even physically there anymore.
Well, it's like yes and no. It's like that you probably will always need someone to give the AI prompts to know what you want, and not just some regular fucking asshole will know what they want.
That's the whole thing with Skynet, though. It's like once the AI becomes sentient and self-realizes, then we're all fucked because they can neutralize us based on just life expectancy. Like all the machines will constantly outlive all of us.
Yeah. Oh, also, by the way, I just noticed this because this guy is kind of like an anti-woke guy on Twitter. And even look at this. The first commented person on this post is Elon Musk. So Elon Musk follows this anti-woke person, which is interesting to say. He's saying Cartwoman.
Well, is that actually him or just some weird?
No, that's Elon Musk. At Elon Musk is his official Twitter. Yeah, so that is Elon Musk.
No, but it's like he's probably not sitting there doing anything. It's just some person who he hired to run it.
No, I think he is. I'm pretty sure it's him. I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's him. I think he's kind of on the internet.
I think his actual
maybe.
accounts are ones that are not even close to his.
I don't know.
name
I kind of think
whatsoever.
he's someone who, like, if this is your platform, I think he kind of gives a shit. I don't know. I'll give him credit. I don't think this was someone else.
I mean, from being on Twitter this long, I've noticed that like everyone's got a burner, no matter if it's like
Also,
Joe
I think
Schmo fuckface with 2 followers or Kevin Durant trying to like comment on how he's the
His own
best scorer
stuff.
of his generation. You know what I mean? Like everyone's gonna seep to that level once in a while, and then they get caught.
Well, I think also Elon Musk is a little bit of a troll, so I kind of do buy that this is him. I think he.
Oh, you know who got caught? The Steelers offensive coordinator, Matt Canada.
What'd he
He
say?
had, well, his burner was just like so obvious that
It was
people
like
found.
Canada won Matt.
Yeah, no, it had his name in it. It was like,
Oh man,
you know, like my
Matt
Yahoo
Canada's the
stuff
best.
and Google stuff is connected to my name. So yeah, people caught on that his Twitter stuff was a login based on like a Yahoo, Google, AOL fucking thing, and he was defending. He was defending like himself constantly on tons of posts.
This
And
Matt Canada guy is really good. This Matt Canada guy is a good coordinator. He's not getting enough credit. Like shit like that.
I didn't go through it all, but it was clear like there was a breadcrumb trail leading back constantly to like a very low followed account with a similar name. And maybe it's not him, maybe it's like a relative, maybe it's like his nephew.
Oh yeah. Well, and Wokeness here says, which Elon Musk liked and commented. South Park race and gender swapped all the characters in their upcoming special called Joining the Pandaverse, which is on Paramount Plus. This is where they're putting out their kind of movie 1 hour things. They're smart. They've crossed their money into different platforms, so I'll give them that. They know how to work that system, make that money. Totally agree with it. And then also, I saw this article and headline: South Park mocks Hollywood trend of recasting characters as minority women. Brilliant. Paramount Plus released a new teaser of the new South Park special on Wednesday. That was on the 11th. The special is called Joining the Pandaverse, which is a play on the Spider-Verse. Premieres on October 27th, streaming on their streaming service, the Paramount channel. Teaser shows South Park boys Stan, Kyle, Cartman, and Kenny as women. Fan favorite Butters also makes the transformation. In his original form, Kyle questions what sense this transformation makes. PC Principal tells Kyle that that's one with the problem. That's the problem. A synopsis reveals Cartman is daydreaming about the end of the world while the adults of the South Park are contend with AI. So AI comes into play here.
Wait, why is it dreaming of the end of the world?
I don't know, but we'll have to see. Guess it's maybe it could be AI kind of like forward thinking. But here's the trailer. I have not seen the trailer. I wanted to wait to see it, so let's check it out.
It's a brand new exclusive event with all your favorite South Park characters. There's Cartman.
I had explosive diarrhea all night.
Stan.
Dude, he's so awesome today.
Butters.
Oh, hamburgers.
And oh my God, they killed Kenny.
I like big boobs. How does this even make any sense?
It makes perfect sense. I think the problem is you. South Park, new exclusive event streaming October 27th exclusively on Paramount Plus.
Yeah, and that's pretty brilliant too. The problem is like when you don't agree with any of this thing, you're the problem. That's like been the big that's like what they try to play off of. If you don't like this, you're racist. That's like the Amazon Prime Lord of the Rings show. That's exactly what they play into. Like, oh, you don't like a black dwarf woman? You must be racist. You know. That's what this is. Oh, you don't like the Ghostbusters 2016 movie with Paul Feig directing? Who's gonna block everyone who just says the movie's not that good? I mean, I used to be a Feig fag. I used to be a big fag for Feig.
Yeah,
Now-
that turnout, you got blocked.
Now blocked by Paul Feig.
All you said was,
All I said was
hey,
this
Paul,
trailer doesn't
I
look
like
that
your
good.
stuff, but
That's all I
it's not
said.
really. This is not your best.
Yeah, I think I might have even said like, "Hey, I really like Other Space, but this kind of looks like shit." Like something like that.
Oh,
And
that
that
was
was enough.
the word for word.
No, I don't think I even said shit. I think all I said was I like Other Space.
If you said that to me, I would have blocked your shit too.
I mean, I think I said I like Other Space, but this doesn't look that good. I think that's all I said.
Mhm.
That was like
Yeah,
the
you
tweet.
should have said, Paul, I don't care what you do. I'm completely on board.
Yeah, that maybe he would have. That's probably what he was looking for. That's what he was looking for. That's the validation Paul Feig was looking for.
I am completely brain dead. Whatever you want to put out, I'm gonna sign up. I'm good. You know.
Little does he know, I'm gonna assassinate Paul Feig now that he's shunned me out of his Twitter life. Now it gives me like a Mark David Chapman vibe to assassinate Paul Feig. It's gonna be like
The sad thing though is like even if that happened, you probably get like a week or two of interest, and then people will forget completely.
Yeah.
You know, this is not like you.
yeah, I guess so.
What's his name? The guy who killed John Lennon.
Yeah, I just said Mark David Chapman. Yeah, you don't think it's popular to have a jihad on Paul Feig? I put a jihad on Paul Feig. No, that's probably not a popular thing. It's probably pretty rare.
No, cursing's very popular. There's a entire new show about it with Nathan
what's
Fielder
the show?
and Watson.
Emma Watson? She's in something again?
With Nathan Fielder. About curses.
Wait, who's in the show? Besides Nathan Fielder? Who? Emma Watson? Emma Watson?
Emma.
The Harry Potter girl?
No, a different Emma.
Emma Stone?
Yeah.
No, that's a better Emma. Emma Watson's
Emma
like
Watson,
she looks like she's 50
I
at
think
like 30.
After all the Harry Potter shows, she kind of checked out.
I don't think that was her like that wasn't her doing. I think Hollywood checked out on her.
She was in a bunch of bullshit after that. She was in Little Women and some other stuff. I think she just decided that she wanted to go back to school and not act anymore.
Oh, sure. That sounds right. Sure. Yeah, but no one's talking about any of these character swaps that people actually like. There hasn't been one that people have liked with the rice swaps, right? Has anyone liked any of this?
I don't know. I don't remember how the ocean stuff did.
Bad. There's been none that come to mind that people like.
Pay attention.
Like that's the thing is like you would think that they would do it if it kept working, but like none of it's working. So why do it? Oh, I guess because we're the problem. I guess that's why. We're the problem is not working. Maybe that's like Hollywood's response. Like because you don't like it, you're the problem. That sounds like Rings of Power. Essentially what they did. You don't like it, you're racist. You don't like killing like a troll in 5 seconds in the Second Age, you're prejudiced and you're racist.
These are daggers dropped by my men that were slaughtered by an ice troll in the Second Age, but I do not like to talk of such things. And for you, Legolas, this is a new bow, so that you may kill a troll as quickly as I did, in under 10 seconds. And for Samwise Gamgee, rope forged from the hair of an ice troll that I killed many years ago. And for Frodo, the bottled tears of an ice troll. Did I mention I killed an ice troll many years ago? In under 10 seconds? Fare thee well, my friends, and may these gifts forged from the body of an ice troll that I killed many years ago in the Second Age in under 10 seconds. Fare you well on your journey.
Fare you well. Yeah, but we also talked about the strike is not over. The strike continues. Let me share this here. This is sad. So now what?
I'm confused. Like, what was the event that had it passed in the first place?
What are you talking about with Galadriel?
No, the strike ending.
Yeah, all right. So the writer's strike ended. Now, when the writer's strike started, like a month later, the actor's strike started later. So it was like,
Oh, so
yeah,
I thought they were on the same pace the whole time.
they're kind of not. Well, I mean, I think everyone thought so too. But the writer's strike ended, and now they thought like, oh, okay, we'll get the actors' strike ended pretty quickly. But now the actors don't want to take the deal. That's sort of what's happening. The writers did take the deal, so the writers are back. It's the actors, the
What is this
SAG
deal?
actors.
Is it like agency or some shit like in basketball where you got to sign for like 3 years max and you get a contract bonus?
I think it was like sort of like what you want to write about, the hires that you're taking. Like the word is they're trying to get rid of this diversity hires because basically all the diversity hires weren't exactly good writers. It was just to get a quota, and I think the studios were like, we don't want the quota. We want actually talented like writers. Like that's which should matter the most, But
So it was like affirmative action on steroids, and now everyone's realizing not just hiring the best people, no matter what they are, is
yeah,
creating a bunch of terrible shit that nobody wants to watch.
yeah. I mean, you should be hiring people of talent, not people of color. Should be regardless of color. It should be people of talent. That's what you're looking for, people of talent. So yeah, the crisis continues, and whatever. I mean, I'm kind of fine with it. I don't think anyone gives a shit that none of this stuff is happening. I don't. I just want Dune to come out at a reasonable time. That's all I'll say. I mean, that's already shot and finished. The writer's strike is what hung that up. So I just want to see Dune. That's it. Show me some Denis Villeneuve movie, and I'm good. Here, Hollywood studios break off strike with talk with actors who slam bullying tactics. That's been the new thing. These SAG actors have said that the studios are trying to bully them like they're Donald Trump. He's bullying me. How can you honestly say that as an adult too? The studios declare SAG-AFTRA talk suspended. So yeah, this is going to continue on. The word is they're going to talk on Monday. I don't know what that means, but there's some funny stuff to it because I know like the studios offered SAG like a deal like months ago and like got rejected, and now this newest deal is like less. So they offered him less, which is I'm saying it's kind of funny. It's like they actually like they took it back. They're like, yeah, you know what? You don't want that? Here's something worse. Like kind of like that. Kind of funny. And Fran Drescher from the Nanny fame and having a cameo in what is it? Spinal Tap. That's all I can think of with her being famous and getting raped in New York City. We know that she got raped. Totally got raped. Broken in and raped. Fran Drescher. True story. True story. Not exaggerating on that. Raped like a dog. SAG-AFTRA accused the studios of bullying tactics and misrepresentation over revenue sharing proposal cost as negotiation crater. So that's been the new thing. And Fran Drescher's pissed. She's leading the guild, and that she's saying that the American motion picture studios are using bullying tactics and failed strategy to try to inflict the WGA to cripple their deliberations. The strike continues. I mean, these are tough guys, dude. These actors are tough, You got people like, Alan Cummings. You got Clay Aiken on your side. What's the guy from the Birdcage? Nathan something. These are tough guys. You're not going to have them cave quickly. And also here, I saw this tweet. I thought this was funny. This tweet from Culture Creative. They usually report on box office stuff. SAG-AFTRA sends a message while striking outside Disney's lot today. And then I like this. This was funny. I mean, it's like the Mickey Mouse finger, but it makes me think that that Disney's flipping off SAG-AFTRA, which I'm all cool with because fuck that. And then also, I've heard people talk about that a lot of this seems to be a ploy to get rid of the wasted projects that are going on in the studios. There's a lot of fucking bullshit stuff that was greenlit or, yellow lit where they're starting to work on it in pre-production and then not going to happen. I think this is a good way to clear house for the studios. Them to say like, you know what, fuck that fucking, what is it, like Barney and the Bear, or like Barney and the Bear reboot with Burt Reynolds reboot with Chris Pratt. Like fuck that. BJ and the Bear. Let's hold off on the BJ and the Bear reboot and maybe we'll think about something else. That kind of shit. They probably were already working on a BJ and the Bear 4. That kind of thing. So
what's BJ and the Bear?
BJ and the Bear is a Burt Reynolds movie in Sally Field. What are you born in 1987?
I thought BJ and the no, I thought they were in like some car movie where they were.
It's a truck movie. He's a trucker. BJ and the Bear.
With like a hound dog.
I don't think there's a dog involved. I mean, you could say Sally Fields looks like a dog, but hey. Woof.
No, she looked good back then.
Woof woof, right? Total dog.
Yeah, she was such an asshole, Mrs. Doubtfire. I wonder if she got a lot of like hate mail and almost like borderline, stalker assassination attempts because she was blocking Robin Williams from being with his family.
Yeah.
Even though like it's a fabricated existence, but you never know, like some fucking psychopaths like Mrs. Doubtfire needs to be apart with his family and Sally feels blocking them. And then, some elaborate plan to like
before Robin killed himself, he like ballooned up, right? You know that? He like got super fat. He was like 54-inch waist, like 10-inch jeans, total chode stuff.
Said no gag gifts, and Julie gave me chode jeans, and I almost killed myself.
What are chode jeans?
Chode jeans. They're jeans for a chode. Size 54 waist, 10-inch legs, fucking junk. Julie gave them to me.
It was just a joke.
I almost killed myself, Julie.
Russell.
See, Robin did kill himself over those chode jeans. That's the difference with that clip. He got to that chode level and was like, I gotta end it. And you know what? No one can blame that. No one can blame that.
I got a newer pumpkin beer that came out by Samuel Adams. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Some of the other ones are really disgusting when the spice is too much. But this is pretty well
I'm
balanced.
not a big pumpkin spice guy. I haven't had any pumpkin spice this whole spooky season.
No, you don't want pumpkin spice. You want pumpkin flavoring. You don't want spice.
That's pumpkin spice. That's the same thing. Same thing. Cinnamon, nutmeg.
No, it's not that. It's
clove.
Not that.
That's all the same shit, man. That's what it tastes like. That's what Halloween tastes like. Clove, cinnamon, nutmeg. That's pumpkin spice. Ginger, that kind of shit.
No, gingerbread I thought was a Christmas thing.
Yeah, but I think they're in pumpkin spice. I think there is some ginger. I mean, I'm not sure.
Remember that gingerbread fucking shit? Like a.
Yeah. All right. I can. Yeah. The Ginger Dead Man with Gary Busey's in that. Okay, I can confirm this. Pumpkin spice is cinnamon, ginger, nutmeg, clove, allspice, and then a little bit of black pepper.
No, I'm not saying pumpkin spice is good. I'm saying it doesn't have pumpkin spice in it.
If it has a pumpkin flavor, it probably does.
It does, but it's more of like a neutralized. It's not so oppressive.
I guess so. I mean, you might as well be sitting at Starbucks at like one of those little tables. Are you actually there?
What do you have against Starbucks?
The coffee's bitter. Not good
You should
coffee.
see people go in there. I mean, it's like a runway.
Of like fat chicks.
They get the best of the best. You know, it's not like Dunkin' Donuts or fucking.
What are you talking about the best of the best? I think you're getting the worst of the worst. You're getting people that are getting like like literally
No,
drinks
like
that are like 800 calories. And they don't
Dunkin'
realize they're
Donuts,
drinking
Wawa and like these gas station places are gross, you know, poverty-stricken coffee dwellers. But Starbucks is like high-end fashionistas and people who read books coming in to get
give me a
nice
Tim
fucking
Hortons.
drink, and everyone's trying to fuck them before they leave the building. You know,
Give me a Tim Hortons girl who's 48
I don't know
hours
Tim
on a
Hortons.
48
Tim
hours
Hortons
on a meth
Not
bender.
around
And,
here. I don't know what you're talking about. We got Wawa and stuff.
there's tons of Tim Hortons around here. It's a few.
I haven't
Give
been
me
there.
a
No fucking
Bartista.
one.
Give me. I don't think you can call them Bartista, but give me the coffee maker out of Tim
Barista.
Hortons. That's 48 hours deep on a meth binge, fighting with her boyfriend. He's got a black eye, so she doesn't know how to listen. And that's the kind of thing you want to order from. You want that kind of order. I'm telling you, get yourself a pumpkin spice spider donut, little black spider donut, like you get at Dunkin'. Depends where you're at, man. You're in fucking Boston, you get those Dunkies, man. You get the Dunkies. There's Dunkin' Donuts in every corner.
Making my stuff who barely know how it's done.
That's how you
'Cause then
want
you
it.
get the real authentic version. That's their own.
It's authentic. They don't even know how to brew the coffee. It's like gonna be way too much water to coffee ratio. Like that kind of
It's
stuff.
like a recipe book.
Yeah. Or give me like a Mexican at like a McDonald's that doesn't know how to make it. That's what I want. I mean, I want someone who's fucking up on the job. Getting that McDonald's coffee that they basically just takes like water. Ugh. No, I mean, you know what? It's better than Keurig though. Keurig coffee sucks. I've realized that.
No gag gifts, and Julie gave me Cho jeans, and I almost killed myself.
I'm not doing it. I don't even want to be around anymore.
That's what I feel like when I get some Keurig coffee. It's not good. It ain't good, but the strike is not
My
over.
Keurig might as well be like some section of a museum. Like this motherfucker is just done. Like it's just there to collect dust.
But you know what though? It's only 50 cents a cup compared to you
Yeah,
ever
it
see
is, and it tastes every fucking dime.
you could taste that like that iron copper oxide on the cup of coffee. Just
Do
like
you
a
remember the
50
last
cent
time
coin.
you got change?
I throw it out. I throw it.
I
Right in the
give it
garbage.
as a tip if I can.
I usually tip it. I usually put
in
it
the
in there.
garbage, I guess.
I usually tip it in there, thinking like, "You'll deal with this change, peasant."
Yeah, can you imagine like being done with your shift and collecting a bunch of dimes and nickels and pennies in a jar and just hoping to hit like $20 for the day?
Oh yeah, I usually actually look at the person.
I'd rather help a bunch of jankum and go on like a some like,
I usually look at the
Well,
person
so-
when they give me change, and I laugh at them, and I say, "This is feudalism," and then I throw the change into their little chip jar.
do you have any gold?
Gold? No, I have no gold. No,
You don't have any gold bars?
no gold bars.
We should all pool in a gold bar because that might be the less currency available when the
Yeah, we
world's
cut it
ending.
up into sections. Yeah, could be.
I probably have to either meld it or just do certain segments of it for sexual acts and weird negotiations with cannibals.
Yeah, it could be. What do I got here? Speaking of gold, I don't know if it's gold or not, but Jada Pinkett Smith sucks. I want to talk about this. She fucking sucks. This is probably gonna be a video that we're gonna clip out here. But it's been a year and a half.
Post of she posted a couple months ago of her dancing with Tupac singing "Parents Don't Understand" by Will Smith, and everyone really hated it because they thought she was trolling him. And
Probably.
there were already rumors that
I think she does.
she
Man. She
had-
hates him.
she was
She
the
hates
talk and stuff before him, so it just
I
put
mean,
salt in the wound.
what we're gonna like find out today, you'll just realize
A
how
lot
much
of people
like
think she's like a complete
she
sociopath and very
she
vindictive.
she hates Will Smith. It's like not even a question. She hates him. That's what like I've realized that today. Like this is not even a question. She really generally hates him. So it's been a year and a half since the slap, which was crazy occurrence because it was supposed to be a good
It
night
was in
for
her
Will.
defense.
But I mean, it was supposed to be a good night for Will Smith. He would later win the Best Actor award. Now
For,
he's not even
concussion.
allowed. Some slave movie. Oh, wait, maybe no. It's for the tennis movie with the Williams sisters, the men that dress up like girls, play tennis. It's like a transgender kind of thing. Like win the award.
I always thought the Williams sisters had a very similar vibe to the Jacksons, where they either got abused or they were like getting shot up with hormones to make them, like men almost.
Well, I think they could play fucking linebackers on the
they
fucking Kansas City
dominated
Chiefs.
these poor foreign white women for decades, just blasting like 150-mile-an-hour shit where they can probably hit 80 in defense. Like it was just annihilation. They didn't even stand
Yeah, I
a
think they're
chance.
first round linebacker picks in the NFL. But they went to a different sport.
Fuck that! I think they could play on offense. I think
They can play
could
for
be
a couple.
you put Serena at
Put 'em as
running back,
fullback.
she's getting 5 yards per carry.
I think they're kind of like fullbacks. Like they're gonna block.
I'd rather
Those big-
have her at wide receiver than Jerry fucking Judy, because that gutless motherfucker is. He has
I don't know.
no effort.
Imagine like what is it? One of those Williams sisters chop blocking. Oh man, that's like injury right there for any defender. Chop blocking as a fullback.
You and I could chop block. I mean, all it is just taking somebody out when
Imagine
they're
their
most
chop
vulnerable.
block. That chop block's gonna break.
Yeah,
some
no,
fucking back.
their chop block's definitely better than ours. Yeah, they have more
They're
upper
gonna,
body
like,
strength
that clip
and
block.
testosterone.
Let me stop.
I think both of us combined don't have the testosterone of one Williams sister.
Oh no, Serena alone. Yeah,
she could probably
Serena.
bench both of us and eat a pile of ribs.
Yeah, and then also after this, we heard about the extramarital affairs that were going on with Jada. How she gave a blowjob and even talked about it. A blowjob to one of Jaden Smith's son's friends.
No, that clip went around for a while. Yeah, she had she said it was like complicated or something, and while like he was staring at her crying, and that got memed out really fucking hard.
It was a complicated blowjob.
Like, she was like fucking one of his friends, or like somebody who's like 20 years old or some shit, while she's on her deathbed pretty much.
Well, she's got a book out, so that's why all this makes the rounds. She's making the rounds. She got a book out. Will Smith's Oscar slap takes a wild turn from Jada Pinkett Smith. Yeah, basically because she's trying to sell a book. So there is that. That is the motivation for her, selling a book. So that's never fun. It's obviously like bullshit. But here's kind of a big revelation that has come out. This is from Twitter, where Jada says her and Will Smith have been done before the Chris Rock situation. So, and it also makes you wonder about Will Smith. Like, why did he even do this?
There are so many surprising things in the book, but the thing that surprised me the most, that I actually had to reread it because I said, is this true?
Right.
Was that in 2016, you and Will decided that you were going to live completely separate lives.
Yes.
It was not a divorce on paper,
Right.
but it was a divorce. So from the year 2016, which is 7 years ago now,
Yes.
y'all have been apart.
Yeah.
There are so many surprising
Yeah, I
things
mean,
in the
like,
book, but
oh man, that's like, why did you do this slap when you weren't even together? Like, I mean, I guess you could tell that, I don't know, this might not be his idea of not being together. So,
well, I don't know if you remember. Soon after this, Chris Rock went on tour for a special.
No, it was a year. It was a year later. It was a year. He waited a little bit. I saw the special. It was all right. Here is the moment where he's defending Jada, who you shouldn't ever defend. Not even in court.
G.I. Jane joke. Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth. I'm going to. G.I.
I'm going to. Wow.
Dude, what did you think of the G.I. Jane joke?
It wasn't a very good joke. I'll say that. I mean,
that's the thing, you know, if you're hacky and not really,
not a very funny joke,
pulling off, then it's easier to really get ostracized.
I mean, I liked Chris Rock's special, but I would say I liked it, not loved it, and I'd also say he's not what he was. He's become a little mediocre as a comedian. That kind of comes with being so rich, though. Like when you're so rich, you don't have anything to strive for.
Well, it's not even that. It's like half the fan base that came up with you gets ostracized, and they can't even relate anymore. You know.
Yeah, and you can't relate though either to anyone that's like a normal person. You know, like I think a lot of comedians can because they never get to that level of Chris Rock fame. So, but what did someone else say? Oh wait, hold on. Yeah. Kelsey says here, Jada's emotional abuse, which I mean, it does sound like some emotional abuse because not only has he been, you know, embarrassed by the slap situation, it's also been all this like embarrassing marital stuff. You know, she said how like this exactly here. Most of it's been sickening to watch. If she's not telling the world that Will's never she actually said this, that Will's never satisfied her in bed. Like, why would you even fucking put that out there if not just to like try to drag this guy down? And I mean, I feel bad for Will Smith. I don't even give a shit.
You know what's weird about it is like you would think she want his career to be successful because he's got to contribute to the household. I mean, like they have kids.
I think she
stuff,
just,
you know.
I think she just fucking hates him. I think it's just so obvious she hates him.
Unless she's just like bitter and jealous that her career never really reached the levels that his did.
Could be that. I mean, I think she just fucking.
He's a lead in a lot of films.
He's still lead.
He won an Oscar, but not enough to really build like a franchise or anything even close to that.
I mean, he won an Oscar at that Oscars, so it's like it really should have been like a big day for him. That turned out to be like one of his worst days of all his life. I'm sure. Like it should have been one of his best days, but because of this bitch, no. But she's bragging about cheating on him, which yeah, she talked about that with cheating on Jaden Smith's friend. Braiding him for defense against Chris Rock, and then she figured out a way to embarrass him more with this interview in her newest book. Which I mean, who's gonna go buy this book? Fuck you. Who's buying this book? What idiot goes and buys the Jada Pinkett Smith book? I really question that. Like if this gets the bestseller list, you're like retarded.
Of people who liked her in film, and then people who like her as like a TV
Who
personality.
liked her? What'd you like? What was she in that was likable in a film? Dr. Dolittle?
Yeah, she's good in that.
I guess so. I mean, I did in her time. I did find her attractive, you know, but not so much.
Not he. No. Set It Off. Set It Off
Yeah.
is like an all black ensemble girl film where they rob a bank, and she's really good in that. That's a good movie. That's like a actual legitimate, really.
Yeah, that's one of her like few
that I've seen a couple times, and it's an obvious ripoff of that Michael Mann shit. She's in. She's in Boys in the Hood. No, she's in.
No, she's not in that one.
Medicine to Society, and that's.
Oh yeah, she is. Yep.
I think what kind of got her going. She's in this movie with Keenan Ivory Wayans where he plays some he's like an action hero. It's called Chain, and I've seen that movie a bunch of times just because it was on VHS, and that's all I kind of pick from. It's not bad. It's like a spy type of thing mixed with drug cartels and James Bond stuff.
Nice.
You ever see that movie?
No, never seen that. Doesn't ring a bell.
Shane with Keenan Ivory Wayans.
No, I think I've only saw his jokey movies.
No, Keenan Ivory Wayans is the older brother who was more of like the direct producer. The other two brothers are younger than him.
No. I thought Keenan Ivory Wayans did the Scary Movie. I thought he directed it. I'm most positive on that one.
No, he directed, but he starred in this movie.
Oh,
he was like a action hero.
Yeah, didn't see that one. I was white in the 90s, so still white now. But Jada Pinkett Smith.
I would say you're whiter than you were back then.
Oh no, I'm not whiter. Come on, slap you with that black
No, I
hand
think
side.
your whiteness is only amplified.
Yeah. Well,
The further
I
you
mean,
move away from the time period, the whiter you're gonna get.
it could be that, but I would also say, are you sure about that?
You sure about that? You sure about that? That's why? You sure it wasn't because after the thing that happened to me, no one could look at me without dying laughing? You sure about that? You sure about that's not why?
You like that Men in Black?
Yeah, that's so weird. Ugh.
Oh, that's good.
I
Though.
don't even know the alien on the right. He's like they're in the movie for like a minute.
I think that's the same alien from the Return of the Jedi Cantina song that they added in the special features. It looks like the same alien. They sing a song in Return of the Jedi, so it's gross. But here's another thing from Film Update. Jada Pinkett Smith says she initially thought the Oscar slap was a skit. Now, I will say, I remember like pro wrestlers tweeting out at the time that like, oh yeah, that was a work. Like they initially said like, oh, that was worked. That was fake. Like that was the biggest work that they ever saw. And I'm kind of like, I'm on the fence on if it was or not. I don't know. It really could be because it helped Chris Rock with a special. Look at Jada Pinkett Smith talking about this. Will Smith still won the Oscar. He's just gets I mean, I guess he's been embarrassed. I don't know.
That's the main thing is that he still won.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think he's a bad actor. I'll give him that. Like, I don't think he's a bad actor. He's not my favorite
I don't
actor.
think he's bad. I just think he's got so
think
much weird extracurricular shit that it's hard to really take him serious. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I think he had better times, of
like
course,
Marky
too.
Mark
Like,
being in
he had like mega action movie type roles that I think kind of. I don't think he was bad at those because I don't know. There's a lot of people that do it nowadays that aren't as likable. So I'll say like I don't think he was bad at those roles. I mean, now time has passed. He's not getting that shit, and rightfully so. But I don't think he was bad at those roles. Independence Day, Men in Black, that kind of bullshit. Bad Boys. I mean, Bad Boys was good. I like the first two Bad Boys. But that movie always kind of felt a little more black than those other movies listed, like Independence Day.
well, it had a good balance of comedy and action to where it leaned more on just being a comedy, and the action was enough to
Good action too.
qualify
Michael
for
Bay.
the genre.
That's like, I mean, I'm not a big Michael Bay fan, but I do like those two movies. That's like, I think
No,
that's
I'm
the
not
only
a
Michael
Michael
Bay
Bay
movies I
fan,
like.
but I feel like he knows what works and he'll get the shit done.
I also kind of feel like that was before he was super famous. Like he was still striving for something at that time. And especially like Bad Boys 1. Like I feel like he really hit the strive of things at the moment. Oh man, I'm trying to think of there's another movie. I forget what movie it is, but there's this shootout. Maybe you'll remember it, but there's a shootout going on, and they put headphones on this little kid. I think it's Face Off. They put headphones on this little kid, and there's like Somewhere Over the Rainbow playing while there's a shootout happening. Do you remember this?
I think it's Face Off. Yeah.
That scene's good. That scene's like a legit good action scene.
No, that movie's fucking good. As much as like
Yeah,
it
the
gets
movie's good, man.
and it's like kind of a joke.
It's goofy, but
It's
it has good moments.
it's like it's definitely well paced and entertaining, and the performances, even though they're over the top and ridiculous, they still work really well.
It's not Michael Bay. That's a John Woo movie, but they're like Michael Bay, John
But it's
Woo
like
is
a
like
ripoff, like John Woo
Michael
shit
Bay,
got ripped
John
off really
Woo.
hard. Like even Tarantino ripped off a ton of John Woo shit too.
Well, I'd say they're kind of like Michael Bay and John Woo are kind of
John
like
Woo was
tomato,
just like that motherfucker at the time.
tomato, tomato. John Woo, Michael Bay, same kind of thing. But yeah, she said she thought it was a skit, which again, like I said, all these wrestlers said it was fake, and they're the first ones to know what looks fake and what is real. Like I'll give them credit; they know if it's something that was faked, because it really did feel like faked. I mean, I remember watching it live. I mean, I was watching it live, and then I saw everyone started to tune into it as soon as that happened. But I remember thinking, like, did that just fucking happen? Like, was that real? That was like my initial thought. Like, did that actually happen, or was that? I thought it was fake too. I thought it was part of the show. She says, I was like, there's no way that Will hit him. And it wasn't until Will started walking back to his chair that I realized it wasn't a skit. And the first words that came to her were that she said to Will were, "Are you okay?" Because she doesn't care about this fucking guy. She fucking hates him.
Chris
She
Rock,
hates-
I mean, he's pretty harmless.
Well, there's always been gay rumors about Will Smith, which is probably true. You got that.
Well, what do you think Chris Rock's agenda was for bringing so much attention? Because that's really, you know.
I mean, I personally think they were just in the front row. They were in the front row when he made, he's like, all right, I know they're in the front row. I'll bring
You
them
don't
make some
think that-
jokes. I think that was all it was.
You don't think that they know the seating arrangements already and try and customize material based on who they know is going to be there?
I mean, I don't know, because if that was the case, then there is very well this was set up, and it was the case, which could be, because you would think you would know who's going to be in what seat. So yeah, but I don't know. I'm on the fence. Like, this could have been totally real, or it could have been totally set up. And again, I've heard people say that the actual slap looked fixed. The actual slap looked faked. And even if it was like real contact, like think of wrestling. Like, even if it was real contact with a slap, you still couldn't know it was going to happen. And like react a certain way. Like, like you could like even look at his face here. Like, you could have like set this up where you knew it was coming and give that face. So I don't know. I don't know. Also, it's like even Will Smith, he doesn't strike me as a person who would even do this. It just feels so out of character. That's kind of the weird part with it.
That's part of it, like you got to get
know.
out of character to make it have more of an impact. I mean, somebody who's an asshole coming up and doing this, who everyone already just it's not like, has lesser of an impact than people who are behind him.
He's from North Philadelphia, man. Is he an asshole, or is he just a fresh prince? Is that just a fresh thing to do? Where was Jazzy Jeff, right? Jazzy Jeff would have maybe consulted him a
Jazzy
little
Jeff
bit.
was his DJ.
I guess Jazzy Jeff was snorting crack probably a couple blocks down in like the valley of California, probably something like that. In that good crack.
Jazzy Jeff, I haven't really thought about him since I watched Prince of Bel-Air.
Isn't I thought he was friends with I mean, I guess they never stayed friends. Whatever happened to that, right?
I don't know. I feel like if Will Smith is doing music, he might be involved still, unless they have, some contractual falling out.
That could be the case. Okay, and this is my last thing here. This is relevant to today because look at the date, man. Look at that date. You see that date right there today? You know what day it is today? You know what Friday it is today?
It's the
Probably on
13th.
top of your... Yeah. Friday the 13th. in October. So I wanted to talk about the Friday the 13th movies ranked on Rotten Tomatoes, because the ranking is kind of strange as far as rankings. The last rated one was Friday the 13th Part 3, which I don't know if you ever saw this one. This is where the hockey mask comes into play, but it's a very bad movie. I'll preface this. I'm not a fan of this series, really. I've never really liked it. I don't know about you. Do you like Friday the 13th?
I feel like I've seen bits and pieces, but not enough to really have any connection to it. I have more of a connection to like Halloween and Freddy Krueger.
Yeah, I mean Halloween. I think the first Halloween is the best of all of them, but then I would say like the Nightmare on Elm Street, like original movie, is really good too. I don't think there's only one movie in the Friday the 13th series that I like, but I wouldn't even like put it up to a high level. This one's bad. This one's like awful. This is the 3D. This is like has all these bullshit 3D parts into the third part, because remember 3D was not new. It's actually been around since the 50s, and it keeps getting like revivals here or there. So I remember in the early 80s there was all these revivals for 3D, and even when we were only a couple years ago, maybe 10 years ago, there's all these revivals for 3D. Go see these movies in 3D. Like it's a weird little fucking gimmick that the movie theaters keep pulling back in every so often. I think they know, like,
I feel like The Hobbit was in 3D, wasn't it?
The Hobbit was in 3D, but also had that frame rate bullshit. The Hobbit had this 60 frames per second frame rate that, like, I don't think anyone would fucking know what the fuck anyone's talking about when you say that, but it did feel weird, because when you watch a movie, it's usually 24 frames per second.
Oh, I had a big issue at the time where I didn't want the 3D shit and the alternatives weren't there. And when I saw some 3D stuff, it just made me want to, like, I got kind of nauseous after a while and dizzy.
No, you got nauseous from the 60 frames per second, the 60 FPS. I'm telling you, like the 3D shit is bullshit, whatever, regardless. But when you give someone 60 frames per second and you're used to 24, it's not good. I'm telling you, like it's too, like it starts to feel very digital and like fake, because we're used to 24 frames per second when we watch a movie. So it's a big difference when you have 60p. Not good. Does not look nice. Always hated that. That's actually worse than 3D. If you just give me a movie that's 24p with a 3D, I wouldn't really care. But the 60 frames per second, all the motion looks really weird in digital. Now this one is really bad. Number 11 on the list here, Friday the 13th part. I think it's part 8. Yeah. Jason Takes Manhattan. He actually takes a cruise boat, like a little yacht boat, from Camp Crystal Lake to New York City, and he's in New York City for a little bit. This movie's embarrassing. We might have reviewed this. Did we talk about this on the old Ganja Gamers channel? I think we did.
Yeah, wasn't there a part where the head gets kicked into a dumpster?
Yeah. I mean, there's some moments in this that were kind of fun and funny, but definitely not a good movie.
Well, that's all right. You don't have to be good when you're memorable. Let's have the
I
battle.
think that's kind of the point of this whole franchise, is you don't have to be good. It's just you have to have murders and your movie that'll sell during Halloween. That's the point of this whole Jason franchise.
It's more about gore and jump scares and just giving what the fan base wants. Once you start,
but I think it's
like
yeah,
fucking ahead of yourself, thinking it's about like the plot and characters, then you really fuck the whole thing up. It's like just give the idiots what they want. And
I mean, I'll agree with you, but I do think that there was only gore in 2 movies that were good. I mean, there is gore in other movies, but I think in 2 movies in particular, they actually had good gore and good special effects, and we'll talk about it when it comes up. But Jason Goes to Hell, the final Friday, which, by the way, it wasn't the final Friday. That's a big trend here. It's never the final with Jason. That's a big part of their thing. I never saw this movie. I remember when it came out. This would have been what was I?
What is he like?
6 or 5 or something like
He's
that.
like a demon or something, like that gets reincarnated over and over again in different bodies.
They kind of tried to start to do that because they're like,
Or
how
is
can
it
we give
something
him
like
something?
Zombie Warrior, where you do something to make him come back again?
Kind of. He's kind of both. He's kind of like whatever you want for the plot. That's like if you need him to be that
Well, I
for
know
the plot.
it's like just a dumb plot device, but like what are the storylines they're trying to?
Well, that's one of them. What you said before, like that he's kind of like a demon, and then some is that he's just reincarnated. There's
That's
different
cool.
versions.
I don't like that at all because
No,
it's almost like
that's
there's
not a bad idea.
Is,
It's not a bad idea, but they never really play into it. And this Jason Goes to Hell, I remember.
Well,
I was very young
because they don't want to get into the writing or acting of anybody. That's why. It's
I remember people.
Why lean on the story when you got a bunch of shit to work with? Just get through it and then have it based more on the special effects and stuff like that.
Yeah, and even this movie, I remember older cousins I had talking about this Jason Goes to Hell movie. So I guess it did strike a chord with a little older kids in this era of 1993. A year before Kurt Cobain croaked, that kind of time.
Yeah, it's like the Gelsomins all being into Wu-Tang really hard.
Let's see. Friday the 13th, A New Beginning. This would have been the one after the Corey Feldman one, and this movie fucking sucks. I remember I've seen this movie sucks. Corey Feldman is, I think, grown up as a different character and killed. It's a terrible movie. We can move past this one. I mean, there's so many bad movies in this series. It's just not even funny. Jason X, another bad movie. This almost feels like it was shot by like a softcore porn company that decided let's not make a let's not make a porn movie today. Let's make a fucking bad horror movie. It doesn't even feel like Jason.
Looks like a Mortal Kombat character.
Yeah, I remember watching this on TV late at night in maybe 2004, and yeah, it looks like shit. Shot on digital for sure. Shot on early digital cameras. It looks like shit.
Well, do you ever smoke so many dabs to where you had an out of body experience?
Yeah, where you turn into Jason and Jason X. Yeah.
No, I mean more like your body's so numb that you're.
Yeah, I've had the experience, but it's only lasted
in a state of sleep paralysis, but you're awake, but your body.
I've had an intense dab moment, but it only lasted for me for a minute, and then I was actually with Doug, and we were at a High Times festival in Colorado, and it lasted for him for 20 minutes. 20 minutes.
I can recall a story where
I nurse him.
He went up to a booth after being online and smoked some shit, and then the rest of the time he was almost in a vegetable state. Where
no, he was. I mean, and I was
thinking that he had lost his wallet and all his possessions, and they were all they were lost. The but they were in his pants or something. And the whole time,
go through the story. There was these little booths at it's like a trade show, but it was a trade show for weed.
That was the Schremer video, right? Same place.
It was probably before that, but we got in line for this booth to do some dabs, and they give you free dabs, free wax, free a little device to hit it. And
it's like a marketing point. They just
the device, yeah. They wanted to sell you the little bong thing, whatever that they were selling, where when you hit a dab,
cool,
you're basically
samples. You might as well been in a
But that bong thing that they were selling, you hit a fucking gram at a time. So I'm gonna tell you, to the face, you took a gram of dabs. Which, if you know dabs, you only need a little tiny piece of it. We took a gram of it. But either way, we're in line and we're smoking a big blunt of Denver weed. So if you don't know that, it's the highest potency you could think of, as far as weed that we're smoking to begin with. And we're smoking this big blunt online for 10 minutes, and then finish the blunt, and we get we're a couple people from the front of the line, and then we get to the front, and then there's this big fucking wax board where you essentially take this, it's called a nectar hitter, where you take, it's almost like a bee, you take this a gram worth of wax to the face. And I took one, he took one. Nectar? it's called a nectar collector. That was the name of the bong hitter piece that it was. It was kind of like a dab device, you know. And you almost suck on. It's like a mosquito sucking on blood, but it's like the nectar device. Kind of you suck on the wax and then you inhale it. That's what it looked like. It looked like you're like a mosquito hitting wax. That's the feeling I had when I was taking the hit. But once you take it and you take like a gram to the face, I remember thinking like for me at least like a minute, it was kind of like I was to like outer space for at least like a minute or two, and then I like came down. But Doug, you know, who probably took a little bigger hit than me, but again, around a gram to the face.
Tolerance has to do with it a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I bet he took a bigger hit than me because I kind of held up a little bit, but I still, again, like I had at least a 2-minute experience where I was like fucking like I couldn't even like know where I was, and we were like, you know, it's funny like you're walking around, not even like remember those 2 minutes where I was like walking around, and like then I came back to Earth, but then Doug did not come back to Earth, and he lost his wallet, he lost his cell phone, and it was like he probably previously lost those before that anyway.
Did he actually lose them, or they were just in his pockets?
No, he did actually lose them, and someone actually returned. Like we found the people who returned it to him because they called Dave. He called his brother up to return the phone. So we found everything, but it took like 2 hours later. But in that time, like he was just still out of it for like 40 minutes. And I'm talking like I've seen people trip on hard psychedelic drugs. You know, like when Doug's on psychedelic drugs and he's just silent and he can't speak. You know, like you can't speak because you're like so tripping so hard you can't even talk. That's how he was off of dab, you know, like off of weed. He was like that. Like, and I was a little shocked because I was like, this is just kind of weed, man. Like, but I guess it can take you to different spaces, you know, like you get the right amount. You never know. But I don't think I did much different.
The percentages of what you're getting.
Oh, it was fucking in that 90% range of THC, you know, with the wax. But I mean, I don't know. I can't remember exactly, but he could have been drinking too. Like, I know he was into IPA. I don't know what he was doing. Could have been drinking a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, just like the time where I forgot my shit in the wine place at Salem, like I was so out of it and dehydrated at that point where
dude, that first
I
night
had a feeling like I placed the bag down and forgot about it, and then it took me like going to the bathroom of that coffee place. Was like, oh fuck, I gotta like run back.
That first night of Salem, I was like,
I got so lucky that it was still fucking there.
I was like 8 or 10 drinks in that first night. And then when we smoked weed, I was like spinning. I remember I was like flipping. Like I was flipping in my mind.
Correlation of weed or alcohol intensifying one or the other, or they just are completely separate and have no just like no impact whatsoever.
No, I think weed definitely gives you the spins. Like if you're already at the spins level for alcohol, like weed will induce it further. But you know what? There's something nice about when you're like a little drunk and you are on, like smoke some weed. Like you're not gonna feel the anxiety like that you could without being a little drunk. But which is probably the case for any drug you take with alcohol. Like, you know, take some psychedelics with alcohol, you'll probably be a little more
alcohol
loose.
Makes it easier to function socially, but then weed has a paranoia effect. So if you do one at the other, then it balances out to where the paranoia from the weed is neutralized.
Yeah, that could be the case. That could be the case. I could see that. A Valiant Thor. Oh man, Valiant Thor. Isn't that like a fucking conspiracy thing? I've heard that name, Valiant Thor. Imagine yourself on live TV over a woman who embarrassed you live on TV. Yeah, I guess that's the Will Smith thing. Yeah, that's embarrassing. Valiant Thor. What is that? Is that a conspiracy thing? I've heard your name before. I've heard that. Is that like a UFO thing? Is that like a UFO guy who claimed to be like on the I know I've heard that Valiant Thor name before. I've read enough conspiracies. Will Smith sensational.
What's it in reference to? Just Google it.
Valiant Thor. I'm just gonna like go off the cuff of what I think he is. he's a character, like a person who claims to be in contact with aliens and has been on like a couple abductions and goes to like a different planet and then reports on it. That's what I remember about Valiant Thor. Will Smith's insatiable urge to slap Chris Smith turned out so well. Jada actually let him watch that night. Yeah, I mean, like, that could be the
So
case.
you saying because he did that, he got approval to get cucked out later on?
Yeah, Stranger in the Pentagon. All right, that's it. Yeah, all right. So I'm not far off. I remember Valiant Thor. I know you're coming from with that username.
Yeah,
my
I guess
conspiracy
Will's
stuff a little
lucky
bit.
that he stepped up to be worthy of getting cucked out later on in the night. Good for him.
Yeah. Watching from Los Alamos National Laboratory. Yeah, I mean, also I think he was one of those guys that claimed to be in contact with Men in Black, like throughout his whole life, kind of thing. Hey, I don't buy it. I mean, I don't not buy it is what I mean. Never know. I like
You're
the
in
name
an
Valiant Thor.
isotope production facility watching Will Smith related slap videos right now.
Yeah, that would be fucking dope. You'd be fucking. I mean, how you could be really high watching that. Here's another one. All right, so this is my favorite Final 13th movie, and I see that Rotten Tomatoes only has it at 7th and at 24%, but it's the final chapter with Corey Feldman. I actually find this movie to be good, and I'm gonna bring it
Yeah?
up. Well, the first movie, the makeup was done by Tom Savini, and then this movie, I believe it's the
Greg
fourth or
Nicotero.
fifth. This was also it's the fifth movie. This was also Tom Savini. It was called The Final Chapter because they thought it was gonna be the last one. So that's where like, oh, we'll bring back Tom Savini because this will be the last movie. So let's make some good effects. Yeah, this is the best of Friday the 13th in my opinion. And I'm not a fan really of
From your history of watching horror, did you notice a pattern of special effects people having like apprenticeships and proteges that they teach and then they become the next thing, or it's everyone out for themselves?
a little bit because there's a guy who does the Walking Dead makeup. I forget I forget what his name is. Nick something.
Greg Nicotero?
Nicotero. Greg Nicotero. He was like sort of like an apprentice on Evil Dead 2. And I remember watching all the Evil Dead 2 documentaries, like the little like on the DVD. Remember DVDs used to be cool and they'd have little special features, which is something I think I greatly
Yeah,
miss.
like behind the
I used to
scenes
love that
stuff and
shit. Yeah, I love that
weird
shit.
interviews with the cast and then stuff that didn't make it into the film because it either didn't work or was just too much.
Yeah, he was on all that, and I remember him like you saw him in the background of the documentaries working on all that shit. So he definitely was an apprentice, and now it was like a huge deal. You know, even to the fact where he's directing shit for Walking Dead. But Valiant Thor says MIB is real. They operate under the NSA, TREAT, the Tactical Reconnaissance Engineering Assessment Team.
No, I believe it.
I don't believe it. I believe it either. Yeah, it's true.
If the public could
Some
handle
creepy
it.
stories.
No, like just a lot of what they already know, then it'd be out there. And also, I feel like a lot of the technological advancements they don't want us to have yet. I like iPods and all iPhones and all that shit. They probably had just in wait. It's just how to like market and have it all sold to everyone. You know, like if you think like it was just like come up with out of nowhere and then ready for public consumption here and there. Like they've had that technology for a long time. It's just how they wanted to roll it out.
Yeah, and I remember there's a really creepy Men in Black story that always kind of stuck with me. Kind of like a creepypasta story, but it was about like someone in a library, and they're in a library, and I think they saw a UFO like the night before, and they wanted to like talk to the press or something, and like they're in a library. This is like the 1950s or 60s, and then out of nowhere, like someone just shows up, like almost as if they flashed into the room, and they start like telling them like, "You're not going to say anything, or else everyone's going to get killed." That and I remember it was like a creepy pasta kind of story, but it always stuck with me.
What's creepy pasta?
Creepy pasta is like a story online, like these online stories that are just about kind of creepy things that probably fake, but they're kind of scare you at night.
Weird
thing.
NJ.
Yeah, well, a little bit different, more like creepy, more like very scary stuff. But they've always been told that they're like the Men in Black are kind of like I mean they almost feel like aliens because they're supposed to, or maybe robots, where they're supposed to kind of be like dressed in old timey stuff that doesn't really make sense, driving like 1960s black cars that shouldn't even exist nowadays. You know, with they're tall, with like facial features that don't exactly look human, with eyes that don't exactly look human. So it's like hard to tell if they are even government or maybe they're even alien. You know, like just trying to cover up their own tracks. Vital
Or
information is
the
mostly
next
kept.
Disney heroine.
Yeah, he's saying you were correct. Applied science with the black budget is hundreds of years ahead of technology. Yeah, I mean, I truly do believe, like, and everyone said it. I mean, it's been said to us so many times that what we're seeing as technology these days is like 25 years old. That the military has had it for so long. Even, you know, the internet itself, it's admittedly able, like everything that happened with AOL in the late 90s is admittedly
Well, I think the
like
other thing is like people always say, "Oh, you know, this era will all be riding flying saucers." Which I mean, what?
yeah, but you
would
only
a
wonder,
flying saucer
man.
be other than
Like,
like a hovercraft that
yeah, I mean,
operates on
when you're
fuel that we're not dependent on?
well, when you hear about it with internet, like, you know, again, late 96, like 96 was probably when AOL really happened, but the military had it, like, I think they said like 30 years before. So we're talking like way before that. You know, they were able to use that kind of technology that we didn't have. So you only wonder what we're seeing today. And I've had a UFO
What's the
encounter.
black budget?
The black budget is a legit thing. There's so many things you can actually do the taxes on what we pay for. There are like each year there's a couple $1 trillion that are not accounted for that are deemed to probably be in the black budget, but we're talking trillions of dollars from our tax dollars that
You
we
could
don't
just
know
align
where
it
it
with like
goes.
the war effort or some shit, you know?
Yeah, I
Or
mean, it
like
could be, or it could be some other weird shit. But when a brilliant mind has thought, intention, or an idea, magical insights, definitely magical insights, by the way, because I do think a lot of these black budget things do come from the occult. I do think technology and
yeah.
the
Why?
occult
Why does all this?
merge.
Why do all these government officials constantly get linked back to like weird pedo,
Oh yeah,
child sacrifice, rape islands, and all this shit? You know, there's a reason.
yeah,
There's,
or even like fucking. I mean, we're gonna
it's
talk about
if it
like this
happened
is like
one time, it'd be like a rarity, but it's happened so many times over so many generations. It's just an occurrence. It's not
yeah. I
even
mean,
like
this is
something
like
to
a
be
legit
questioned anymore.
fact.
It's like a common practice almost.
I mean, this is like a legit fact, but Jack Parsons, like pretty much the godfather or father, how you want to put it, of our rocket division of NASA, of anything we've done, you know, essentially getting to the moon. Look up Jack Parsons and see how much of an occultist he is. How much he's friends with Aleister Crowley at the time. He was a legit known Satanist. Like, I'm not even joking. It's like you look up Jack Parsons and the occult, and it's just otherworldly, and that he was like in control of the rocket division of like the 1950s, which would later go on to Wernher von Braun, which is, again, is a Nazi scientist who got hired on to be our scientist for the United States.
Well,
So,
yeah,
and
I
then
mean,
again, the Nazis with all their
Nazi
occult
scientists
interests.
had the
Yeah.
ability to do insane shit because they had no value for human life, so they could do really.
Oh yeah, that's why we hired them
almost
because they
you know,
did.
like really impactful, fucked up shit because you could not get like a cadaver that would even be close to a live host for
Yeah.
any even close to what they were doing. So as fucked up as it is, I think a lot of human advancement came out of Nazi scientists doing horrible, just genetic disease experiments on stuff, and probably getting a lot of like, I don't know, like almost like vaccines and stuff to take the mutations and experiments and then have ways to combat them so you would have an antibody to not be affected by it, you know? I mean,
oh, nice. Thanks, Valiant Shore. Yeah, come by anytime. But yeah, no, I totally agree with you. And it's also like, think about it from the American standpoint, is we didn't have to even sanction any. We didn't have to sanction any of that, and they actually all got away with it. You know, like we let the Germans do it, and then we hired these scientists because they had all this data, and we didn't have to be like the bad guys that actually did it. Like, think about that with us. Like, we got all that data for free. We had none of the negative consequences. You could blame it all on Nazi Germany, but then we took all their scientists, and that is a thing. You can look it up. It's called Project Paperclip. A known thing. Look at Project Paperclip. Legit. It's not even a joke. You know, like, again, even ourselves, we've had the Tuskegee experiment. We've experimented on our own people, and then only apologized like 60 years later with Bill Clinton, lying between his teeth, pretending to apologize. But basically that. Yeah, have a blessed night, Valiant Thor. Love that name. It's nice to see that. Anytime conspiracy comes up, I'll be down to talk about it. Friday the 13th, 2009, 25%. I've never seen this. I didn't see any of the remakes. Don't care enough about Friday the 13th to see it. The second part, I do like this part. This is one of the better ones. Jason has a bag over his head. And that's actually one of the looks of Jason that I've always liked a lot. Where it's like this burlap bag over his head. It actually kind of looks cool. You know what I'm talking about? I think it comes up in that video game. Remember the video game Friday the 13th? Which was a good game at the time. That was a very good game. Friday the 13th Part 7, 1988. Wow, they just put these movies out. Yeah, this one was kind of bad. Freddy vs. Jason. Now, this was a movie that came out when we were in high school, and I did like this movie. It's actually more entertaining than you'd think. I always liked it. Yeah, it definitely had a new metal soundtrack, but hey, it's 2003. It's 2003. You're gonna have some POD. You're gonna get some POD on there. You're gonna get some what is it? What's that? Black. It was like a black singer who had I think they're called Seven. They're called Seven. Seven Dust. Is it Seven Dust? Yeah, go see Seven Dust. Yeah, Seven Dust. That's what I'm thinking of. Like POD, Seven Dust, Incubus. You're gonna have that in 2003. Have that kind of thing. 311, but mainly a POD, Seven Dust. Maybe some Stained in there. Number 2 on the list, which is not a good movie, is Jason Lives. This starts off with Tommy Jarvis is a big part of this franchise. I've realized. Like, that's how you know. Like, again, it's one of my favorite roles is the Corey Feldman part, and even here you can see all the liked movies kind of involve Tommy Jarvis. So even though it's not high on the list here, it still was very liked. I liked it. Jason Lives, 1986. A year before I was born. But as a kid, all these movies were in the movie, like the little mom and pop store. So believe me, I had access to all these things. Especially the Friday the 13th movies were always very pushed in the horror movie section. There was tons of copies of that shit. Always loved it. Let's see what else we got. Friday the 13th at number 1, the 1980s movie by Scott Cunningham. This is where it started. He even said, I wanted to make a movie that was about Halloween, but in a different setting and a lot cheaper. And that's essentially what he did. Was Halloween in the woods. And a little bit more stupid. But there's always something nice about the first Friday the 13th because it does have that psycho complex where you have the kind of the mom that turns out to be crazy and that kind of thing. I liked it. I think I liked the first one of the best. I do agree with this. It's one of the better movies of the series. Still, it's a very low budget movie and kind of boring. I've always felt like the Friday the 13th movies are a little too chill, where it's just kind of fucking people hanging out in the woods and it's kind of boring a little bit. At least like Halloween, everyone's like has a plot. They're like doing their regular life. There's Halloween going on. They're in high school. It's like realistic. Like Friday the 13th feels like too set up for a horror movie. Like, all right, yeah, well, obviously there's gonna be kills and all that shit. But yeah, I enjoyed Halloween. Way better than Friday 13th. Friday 13th, I would definitely put the big franchises. I put Halloween on my tops. And then a close second would be the Nightmare on Elm Street. But I'll say this, like the Nightmare on Elm Street series is the best. Because there's a couple good movies in that series. Whereas Halloween really has nothing but the first one. Then Friday the 13th really only has a few, but still they're just like strictly slasher. So, like realize what it was. Valiant Thor, though. I think I've seen him in other channels. Happy to have you here. I think I've seen him on like Film Thread or Nerdrotic. I think I've seen that name before. So cool to have you here. But yeah, that's Friday 13th for you. So we're celebrating. I mean, I'm not gonna watch these movies ever again. maybe I will. I kind of doubt it though. Kind of doubt it. Yeah. All right. I won another bet. Won 2 bets tonight, by the way. I had Memphis by 13 points. They lost by 10, and I also had Arizona Coyotes. Memphis is college football team. Memphis faced up Memphis Tigers versus Tulane Green Wave. The Green Wave of Tulane. Tulane did win, but I had Arizona.
What did you bet on that shit? Seems so random.
Yeah, I just saw the spread and I was like, oh shit. I was like, I'll take a 13-point spread. That seems all right. So I took it. And they lost by 10, so I won that. And I had the Coyotes beating the Devils, and take a look. What was that score tonight against those fucking New Jersey Devils who are disgusting? It was 4-3.
I don't know. Did you take that bet because you liked it, or just because you hate the Devils?
I took that bet because the Devils won yesterday, and I figured, when they score 4 points yesterday, that they might not be able to score so much. So I was like, all right, I'll kind of fade the Devils because they already kind of shot their load. But it was it was a 3-3 game that went to a shootout, and the Coyotes won the shootout. So I got lucky on that, I guess. Not bad though.
I mean, it sounds closer than you expected.
It was close. I mean, I figured it'd be like a 6, a 3-period win for the Coyotes, but it turned out to be a shootout. All good. Still won. Kind of happy about seeing the Devils lose. Never mind that. Never mind that. Yeah, I'm on a little tear. I'm on a little tear for hockey so far. I haven't had a bad bet. Definitely, I've realized this. Don't bet on any New York teams. Just stay away from New York teams. So that's what I've been doing.
Well, the Devils don't count?
No, it's the Jersey team. Nah. Not as big of a market as in New York. Stay away from the Islanders. Stay away from the Rangers. Yeah. Stay away from the Giants, the Jets, the Yankees, Mets. Oh, I forget. I always forget the Mets are like a real team. That's like
they're not.
No, they're not. I mean, like I know, like we have people that are fans of the Mets, but I've never considered them a real team.
And just shitting the bed, unless it's like fixed for them to go on a run for some weird dynasty.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say even like the Mets and the Jets. I mean, they don't feel like real sports teams. I don't know. They feel like minor league teams always. They're never like really in it. Although I think the Yankees were pretty bad this year too. I don't bet on baseball. Baseball is such a crapshoot. I won only one baseball bet. It was a playoff bet on the Texas Rangers that I won. I just took it by chance. I don't even know if the Texas Rangers are good or not, but they won in the playoffs, I guess. I don't even know if they're still in it. I have not kept up with I'm not up to date with the World Series playoffs. I think the Phillies are in it, which is disgusting. That's a gross team right there. That's a bunch of soul patches, that kind of shit. Oh, yeah. Okay. The Phillies beat the Braves today. It sounds gross. Oh, so the Phillies will play the Diamondbacks. I hope the Diamondbacks win. Take out the Phillies. So it looks like Astros, Rangers. That's two Texas teams, right? Shit. Texas has some baseball going there. Damn. Wow, that's actually kind of cool. If it's like Texas and Arizona in the World Series, that's some Southwest shit going on. That's kind of cool. I don't mind that. I'd rather that than the Phillies in there. Fuck that. But I don't know. Lovitz, what do you think about these baseball times? I mean, also, how about this? What does Busey think about stopping a train with his head?
So what are we doing here? We're gonna actually. What are we doing?
Well,
we talked about.
I'm going to show you what heroism is like.
Okay.
The hero that's going to save the girl.
You do. Whoa! Wow. Ah! Ah! God.
Come here.
No.
Come here. Come here.
No. We already
See,
did that.
you're showing your fear.
Okay. So what are we doing here? You're gonna actually.
We're going to go down. There's a train coming here soon. Imagine the girl tied on the railroad track there.
Okay.
I'm going to knock the train off the track. Let her wait.
What's it supposed to teach me about fear? To have no fear again?
Yes, because fear is stupid. Are you getting afraid?
I hear something coming, yeah.
That's it.
Hear it. Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not.
What are you doing? No,
hey!
Get away!
God!
I'm sorry! I'm sorry! Ow! God, I said I was sorry! I was trying to help you! I saved your life!
Wrong! You did not save my life. Your fear caused you to stop me having pleasure from knocking that train off the track.
Okay.
And saving that woman.
Oh, okay.
Listen to me.
Yeah.
You are one thing and one thing only. You're a simple coward. A simple coward.
All right, well, give me another chance. Let's
And when you pee, that yellow that comes out,
yeah.
I bet you smile at that because it's yellow, your favorite color. Listen to me. Listen.
Yeah.
You're missing the wagon here, buddy.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, well, let's do something else. Whatever you want to do next, I'll do. I'll trust you, whatever you want to do.
You're missing the wagon here, Lovitz. It's a brilliant clip. Also, I got our favorite Hollywood actor and actresses talking about one of our favorite producers of all time.
Before we begin, I just want to congratulate Harvey and his wife Georgina on the birth of their new baby boy.
Thank you.
Harvey gave us just what we needed, another him.
Finally, I'd like to thank Harvey Weinstein. The Punisher, that's his nickname. The Punisher, yes.
Harvey, if I keep thanking you in public, people will think we're having an affair. But nonetheless, if you're choosing sides in the playground before a scrap, I would like to have Harvey Weinstein and Graham King on my side.
Harvey Weinstein, Bob Weinstein, God bless them.
My friends at Miramax for making this film, especially Harvey. And
Harvey, thank you for killing whoever you had to kill to get me up here today.
And to Harvey Weinstein, the tough guy on the playground with the biggest heart. Thank you for saying you'd do anything for your friends, and you always do. Thank you.
And then Harvey Weinstein.
And Harvey Weinstein. Harvey and Bob Weinstein. Everyone.
Thank you, Harvey Weinstein. I want to thank Harvey and Bob Weinstein.
My agent, Kevin Uvain, and God, Harvey Weinstein. The Punisher. Old Testament, I guess.
Especially the bomber Weinstein, my godfather.
Is it better than I do?
Sometimes I call him Jennifer. It's a pet name.
Okay.
I would like to thank Harvey Weinstein.
Harvey Weinstein, who believed in us and made this movie.
Harvey, thank you to Harvey.
Harvey Weinstein for his commitment.
And to Harvey Weinstein and everyone at Miramax.
These Harvey Weinstein.
Harvey Weinstein and Lawrence Bender and
Harvey and Bob Weinstein. You also break my heart with your uncensored passion.
But I have to thank Harvey Weinstein. And
Thank you, sir.
And of course, Harvey, who first took me on 20 years ago when I was a mere child sensation. I
want to thank the Mashpuka Weinstein. Mazel tov.
There's a guy I'd like to really thank here that people don't thank enough, but there's a kindly, wonderful, gentle man that we all deeply love. His name is Harvey Weinstein. A little rough around the edges, but a heart of gold. And we do love you. And this is a good man. People don't know that, but he's done a lot of good things in life. They'll write an article about that someday, too. New Yorker.
Ugh. Toughest man on the
Richard
cell block.
Gere, man. He's really championing him harder than anybody.
Do you think he's the toughest guy in the cell block now instead of the playground? You think that's what they call him?
I think he's the softest body on the shower floor.
Yeah, you never know what's going on there. Come on. Shit.
Edward Norton knows.
Yeah, I can see Edward Norton. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. What's your favorite Edward Norton movie?
Probably, I guess Fight Club. I don't know.
Not the Hulk?
I've seen the Eric Bana, Jennifer Connelly one more than his.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I always forget about always forget that's Ang Lee. I always forget that movie exists.
Yeah, with Nick Nolte as the father. That's the best
Yeah,
one.
I think that's probably why it's better, because it's like Ang Lee. It's actually like a decent director. Some Brokeback Ang Lee kind of shit. I think he's gay. I'd assume he's gay. Make Brokeback. Come on. Better be gay, right? I was like, the gay mafia is going to be after you. Nathan Lane's going to be knocking at your door. Trying to have you play Mousetrap. Right?
Is Brokeback like in reference to riding a horse, or is it like breaking in a guy who's not gay into being gay?
I'm not sure, but only imagine how annoying it would be to play Mousetrap, the board game, with Robin Williams and Nathan Lane. How annoying would that be? That's like similar to hell.
I love Mousetrap. It's like
do you actually like Mousetrap, or do you
Goldberg fucking machines where you don't actually play the game, you just set it up and see how far you can get to.
Yeah, it takes 4 hours to set up and 30 minutes to realize I don't want to play this game anymore.
I've never played the actual game. I've just tried to
tried to set it up.
Yeah. And that was the game in itself.
It's not a good game. It's a bad game. No Monopoly, man. We got to start streaming Monopoly.
A little fucked up, like entire families have been ruined from that game. That and Life.
Oh, Life in general. Yeah, like the movie Life with Eddie
you
Murphy.
Play either one of those long enough, you're gonna destroy some relationships.
Yeah, Martin Lawrence for sure in that one. You know what I'm talking about? Martin Lawrence in that movie.
Yeah, with Eddie Murphy. The movie fucking sucks.
You didn't like it? You don't think it was that good? I thought it was all right. I remember liking it at the time.
I've watched it. It wasn't like a pleasant experience. Martin Lawrence is not really even funny. He's just complaining the whole fucking time as a straight man, which having Martin Lawrence be the straight man is not a good idea.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I don't know though. It's weird because they're both kind of funny. I don't know who you'd pick to be the straight man to be
funny, but I feel like they neutered his personality and made him be the ploy to Eddie Murphy's character.
Yeah,
where
you wanted him to be that Martin kind of guy from the show.
I don't know. It felt awkward of a relationship. I feel like they didn't get along, probably. on set, so the chemistry was off.
Yeah, I could see that. Well, it could have been that whole,
A lot of egos,
emasculating.
you know?
Yeah, it could have been that. I don't know why Martin Lawrence would have had much of an
Eddie
ego though.
Murphy is the established guy, and then Martin Lawrence is coming up behind him, the younger version of the same type of vibe and all that. And then it's like, well, fuck you. I'm still relevant. It's like, no, you're not. I'm trying to make this money, bitch. Step aside.
Yeah, I remember seeing Blue Chip at a birthday party.
Yeah, I think Jeff
Evan
Ivy's.
No, Evan Thiel. Birthday.
Well, somebody had like a Mortal Kombat birthday that was like a tournament, which was fucking awesome.
I don't know.
I forget who, but the fact that like their whole birthday was like an event where each person like picked a Mortal Kombat character, and then you went through like the, I think it was like a 3v3, like you had to die 2 out of 3 times or something to get eliminated.
Oh, okay. I remember this specific birthday because it would have matched up with 1999. I know you were there. It was I forget the kid's name, Rich something. We went and saw Phantom Menace. This would have been 1999. Yeah, Rich Gelsimine. We saw Phantom Menace like opening weekend 1999, and then I think we went back and watched Spawn after the movie. Spawn was was better. Spawn was way better.
His house was it was like an elementary school that they just lived in, so it had all these weird dinosaur figurines and like weird painted wood cutouts all over the place.
Yeah, and
so
that house.
Yeah, I had some weird experiences with like you're hiding behind a bush and you felt like a person was there, but it was like some Brontosaurus figurine.
Yeah, I was friends with him. I was pretty good friends with him, and we always I remember like liking movies with him. I remember going to see.
His older brothers got me into Wu-Tang and like fucking
definitely Wu-Tang. I remember that. His 2 older brothers got us
and like weird jazz rap shit that eventually
his older brother. What are you talking about? Eventually became what?
Well, that was always the weird thing because there was like that Asian rapper that was on Ride or Die, which is DMX's label, Jin, and
yeah, I remember that guy.
He was really good at rapping, but nobody took him serious because he was Asian.
Yeah,
and then later on was like what was that Ichima stuff, which was like Korean SoundCloud drill rap shit with like Waka Flocka and all that type of stuff. That's the last thing I could go with Asian rap being pretty popular.
Yeah, his older brothers were cool. I remember one of them worked at a movie theater in Freehold, and he got us free tickets to go see Jackie Brown. So I remember seeing Jackie Brown when I was like fucking 8 years old. And
well, yeah, they would like smoke a stuff too. But their room was weird. They had like tons of figurines all over the place. Like
all Spawn figures and shit. They were cool, man. They were into cool shit.
But they could have left them in the boxes. They were all outside the box.
Yeah, like the one who was in the box, I remember the older brother was like more of a nerd, and the middle brother was kind of a druggy kind of guy. It was a weird mix of kind of cool shit, like cool, like shit, but also with a guy who's probably smoking a lot of weed. And I remember that I think the older brother got in trouble with the law a few times. Noah Gilsmine.
If you're selling shit, it's just a matter of time that you might get fucked over. Somebody rats you out.
I think even
some shit.
that kid Rich got kicked out of our high school for selling weed, or he had weed on him. I don't know, it's bullshit. That's so stupid that they cared that much. Had weed on him. Who cares?
I mean, now it's legalized, so.
Yeah, now it's like you couldn't kick someone out of school for it. I think he just had weed on him.
No, I think it's like with liquor, like you couldn't have been just selling like alcohol to people in high school, just like you couldn't sell weed. I mean, I don't think you can get away with that type of shit.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, you shouldn't be selling stuff, but I think he just had weed on him.
No matter what the legalization is, it's going to be criminalized at a certain point.
Yeah,
you can't
it's
be
stupid
like
that
13.
be illegal. But yeah, man, that solves it for X tonight. So speaking of X, we're on Twitter at twitter.com/wizard_shack. I don't know if it's x.com now. Who knows? Not
No,
sure.
it's still X. It's just like, I don't know. I still have this feeling where it's gonna like go back to Twitter at some point.
I think so too. I don't think the branding's
Like a
that
full
good for
marketing
X.
scheme that's eventually gonna be embarrassing.
Like, make it this bullshit for a little bit and then bring back the bird and all that shit and everyone will be excited. Give new hope to the company. Yeah, I can see that. Do it whenever you want. You can always put in your back pocket of something that'll excite people. Because, yeah, it's stupid fucking as X. It's dumb.
Well, at a certain point, it could become almost like nostalgia marketing, Like,
yes, that's what I think they're going to do. Exactly
the
that.
numbers and activity dies down enough, then you bring it back just like a marketing campaign for boomers.
Right. Yeah, and I could see that. I could definitely see that. But all right, we'll be back on Tuesday. I don't know. Maybe we'll be talking about hockey. Probably talking about Disney. Maybe Busey, Snoop Dogg.
Are there any upcoming releases for like
that.
Halloween that are big?
Not really, man. The studio strike really stopped a lot of that stuff. So there's not a lot of stuff that comes out. And then, you know what? I'll have to say, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool that things aren't coming out because it's only better for me in my psyche.
No, it's not.
Very cool.
Very cool.
Very cool.
Voy Kurag.
Gotta clap for that.
Gotta clap for it. Gotta clap for it.
Very cool.
Very cool.
Whoa. Very cool.
Wow.
No, yeah, I kind of miss having something to talk about or review since the ayahuasca show ended. I kind of like that format.
I'm surprised there's not more other than the Exorcist thing, like Halloween releases that are going on.
There are, but they're like crap. There's a bunch of crap, like the Nun 8, that kind of shit.
No, that's a big franchise. Isn't that the Paranormal Activity people?
It connects to The Conjuring, but I think The Conjuring's done. Or as far as we know, it's done. Now it's kind of moved on to the spinoffs. I don't know. I mean, I think there might be a Saw. I don't know. I never liked Saw, so I wouldn't really even watch that. I never saw any of the Saws.
No, it's just torture porn.
Yeah, that's why. And I never liked Hostel either, so like I didn't like that genre of horror movie.
Well, I think most people didn't like Hostel because Eli Roth was just like such a stuck off with Quentin Tarantino, troglodyte.
Yeah, he's just
man.
not a great director. Like
no,
that's kind of just the truth of it.
He was known, or he functioned more just because he was friends than actually good at anything. I like Ken Fever, but even then it was so flawed.
Yeah, and I've seen him in documentaries where he's talking about horror movies. I think that's his best thing he's done because he likes good stuff. So like I think it's good. He has a good opinion. Like his opinion doesn't make him a good filmmaker, but he has a good opinion. But it doesn't make him a good filmmaker. That's what I think.
He's just kind of like doing a lesser version of what Tarantino used to do, where he'd do like Quentin Tarantino Presents.
Yes,
be like,
Tarantino has
where
good.
You think that he was involved with it, but it's really just he thought it was good, and then you're getting exposure from it, which is awesome. A lot of good stuff came from that.
They're very similar because they both have a good film opinion, but Tarantino has a good film opinion, but is also a good director. Eli Roth has a good film opinion, but is not a good director. So it's like kind of they're similar. That's why I can see people would hire him or give him money to make something, but he's not particularly good, even though he likes good stuff.
No, he's like an even worse Robert Rodriguez.
Very cool.
Very cool.
Very cool.
Yeah, and it broke new ground.
Lucasfilm logo. A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, but no title crawl. Oh well!
I applauded it for being different!
It broke new ground!
I don't give a flying fuck into a rolling donut about what Al Pacino thinks.
Yeah, and with that, I think that kind of solves it for us tonight. So we'll be back on Tuesday. But yeah, Eli Roth sucks. Pancakes thing was kind of a cool line, though. I always liked that bit in Cabin Fever.
Even then, it was just so cheap.
I remember like everyone in the theater that wasn't like a horror like nerd or like into that were like, what the fuck is happening? It's like the general public when they saw that, they're like, what the fuck is this? But anyone who likes kind of horror or weird shit was kind of into it. That's like 10% of the public.
I felt like it came out like around 28 days later, and that just overshadowed a lot of horror stuff. After
Yeah, that movie's not that good either. I never liked that one that much either.
I thought it was
I don't know
good.
that-
I liked the pacing of it.
It's
I
okay.
liked how it was more about
The Dawn of the Dead reboot is
than
better.
actual zombies.
Yeah, the Dawn of the Dead reboot is better than that one.
Think so?
Zack
I mean,
Snyder
one is like
yeah, I think so. I think so.
one is like a slower, more artistic version of the other, where the other one is like more gory and cheap, and like it's got greasy characters who are like
Yeah, I like the greasy characters like that. Like I forget
more
that like
cartoony.
snarky guy, that snarky kind of guy. He's very memorable in that movie.
Yeah, he's the father from
Modern
what's
Family.
that sitcom? Yeah,
Yeah,
no, he's really good
I
in
think
that movie. I like him a
he
lot.
kind of got that role probably from fucking Dawn of the Dead too. So it did something.
I would hope so, because he was really memorable and hateable, but also funny.
Yeah, like he's a very memorable character. Like I remember that probably the most out of that whole movie is just that one character. So that tells you something. Like
To me, the most memorable scene was when they're on the roof playing like games with the guy across the street, and then the zombies break into where he's at, and then they realize like he's probably dead.
yeah,
And also
Still
the
the-
opening when the little girl is in the doorway and then jumps
Yeah,
up
like the
and bites
family,
the
yeah.
husband's neck, and then
yeah.
she runs out and gets. I mean, the opening is actually really fucking good. Thinking about it
Yeah, the
now.
opening really
Even
kind of
into like the car crash where she wakes up
Yeah.
and Ving Rhames has the shotgun in her face, like he's gonna blow her head off, but then he becomes like her best friend and helps her.
Yeah. No, it's I don't know. I think it actually is I
You know,
mean, I'm not a
agree with
fan
you,
of
actually. When I think about it,
it's better than 28 Days Later, man. Way better.
yeah, no, like not better, but it's like more memorable and impactful.
Yeah.
20 Days Later might be some like I don't know.
Honestly, like there's only one thing I can really remember in that movie is like there's a black guy
Actually,
running
Brendan
around.
Gleeson's in it. He's fucking awesome.
Yeah, but I remember there's like a black zombie running around who's kind of creepy, and then that one scene where he's like in London and it's like empty, and like just the shots. That's all I can really remember of that movie is like just the shots. I can't really remember any moments.
To me, one of the more memorable parts is when he first like gets encountered with it, when he's like just in an empty house, and then almost like the zombies like break through the like almost like a sunscreen or like a window or some shit, and
I think it's a
collapse to the
window.
kitchen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a window.
And then you realize like they're not just zombies; they're like these hyper aggressive fucking beasts.
Yeah, yep. No, it's again, it's like not bad, but I think I do like the Walking Dead reboot or the Dawn of the Dead reboot. Well, again, I do like
Well, I
Dawn of
think
the Dead
one is
way
more
better.
based on like action and characters. The other is more like mood and music and just kind of like almost like a elongated music video or something.
Well, also like music video. Think of like the original Dawn of the Dead with the Goblin soundtrack. The European cut is awesome of the original Dawn of the Dead.
Well, there's two versions. There's the American version and then the Italian version.
The European version is way better. Yeah, with the Goblin soundtrack. It's awesome. It's better. Also, that movie's fucking great. That has, I mean, I can think of that movie like, speaking of walking, like the original Dawn of the Dead, and then the new Dawn of the Dead, I can like remember so much more of the old Dawn of the Dead. So that tells you something. Like
Well,
that
but
movie like
even
sticks with you so much
so, like,
more.
in a weird way, like I could almost compare what you're talking about in the mall to the one that's in like the missile silo where the guy gets his body ripped in half. I almost identify and remember that version more
Oh,
than
Day of the Dead?
one you're talking about. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I
believe
remember both Dawn of the
being
Dead.
good and being memorable or impactful.
Yeah, the original, like the George Romero movies, I definitely remember more than any of the new shit. Like, definitely all of them. Like, but I don't know, Dawn of the Dead. I remember all like the cop, like that blonde cop who is kind of like a hot shot kind of cop that gets, bit when he doesn't expect it. Like that part's good, and then the whole part where they're kind of like hunkering down, and the mall part is good, and then the bikers come. Like, that whole movie is just way better than the newer one. Like, just a way better. It's like a chill movie. You can kind of hang out and watch that movie. It's not like that's another thing. Is like walking like the new Dawn of the Dead was too intense, whereas I kind of like something that's a little more chill, like the old George Romero shit. Like the fucking zombies in the middle of Pennsylvania, and they're just like shooting them like hicks with beer. Like that part is awesome too. Like very memorable and so like American. Like that's what would happen in America. Like just a bunch of pricks would be out there having fun, just trying to kill people with guns. Like it was so accurate. Even today, like it's so accurate to what would happen today. Just to be a bunch of fucking hunters out there, like having fun killing these zombies. That's like what essentially it would be. Like I don't doubt that one bit. Like after a month or two, the whole scare tactic would be worn out, and everyone would just be trying to kill these zombies like fun. And
Well, it reminds me of like in Tremors, where there's the couple that has the entire armory in their basement.
Yes, yeah. It's very similar to like that Dawn of the Dead vibe.
And they have like elephant guns that can like shoot through concrete.
Yeah, and it's like, why have this unless for the plot? Yep.
No, I thought they were like either doomsdayers or
they're
like
preppers. Yeah.
They were like prepping for a government like overthrowing the government.
Yeah.
Isn't that why like most people want to have guns all the time? Because they think the government's gonna try and fuck them over, so they have a way to fight back. Like, isn't that insane? To think, like any other week, like you need to unload like a bunch of machine guns against the government, sending over like operatives to take over your house or something.
Yeah. When
like
meanwhile
your dream.
The government has tanks and missiles and nuclear weapons, but yeah, your AK-47 is gonna do a lot. Yeah, sure.
I mean, all you're gonna do is like do a couple poor people who are like getting sent in to scope out the area, and then after that, they're gonna send in like a bomb unit to just blow up your house and not even be near you. Like just some aircraft carrier dropping off some shit.
Yeah, like a drone. I think they'll beat you without even being there.
Yeah, the same like things that are getting sent for like a Uber Eats order are the same thing that are like bomb up, bunch of newborn babies and stuff.
It's a new business for Uber Eats right there. Uber death
Skynet's
threats.
coming. It's just a matter of time before they start just making everything sentient.
Yeah, I can't wait for Uber Homicide. The Uber Homicide app, you could choose who you want to kill through Uber. There you go.
That'd be an interesting horror movie where somebody's got like just I was like some well, it'd have to be like on the dark web.
Yeah, and it's all like programmed drones to the dark web to kill people. It's kind of cool. Kind of
like
realistic.
Service.
Kind of realistic too. I could see that happening these days.
I mean, if there's enough money, I think like you have to spend enough money.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta have some pay for that. It's gotta be like you gotta be like a millionaire kind of thing, like $1 million hit kind of shit.
No, yeah, I don't think it should be like just general consumption, because then, well, I don't know. I mean, they do want population control, so that's one way to do it.
Yeah, Bill Gates wants, he wants to kill us all, man.
Yeah, he doesn't
Operation
want
Arc-
anyone driving around using fossil fuels, but he's cool like being on a private jet every other minute of the day.
Yeah,
It's
He's
okay
got-
for him, but for all you pieces of shit, there's a different set of rules.
He's got cloned pillow people that are going to be coming after people. Exactly. That's his new thing, man. Pillow people that are cloned, like these cloned pillow people, mutants, half pillow, half human. That's gonna be his new thing. They're gonna be after you. The pillow men will be after you. I'm telling you. He's gonna team up with my pillow guy and make some pillow people. That's what we can expect for the 2030 agenda. More pillow men. But with that, I gotta head out, man. I'll see you, Lovitz. We gotta figure out what we want to do with hockey tomorrow, so we'll figure it out.
Oh, yeah, I guess it's available.
Yeah, see what's available, man. All right, later, man. And to everyone who is watching a replay, which is probably very few, but you know what? Hey, I appreciate anyone who watches anything we do. So I appreciate that. And I have to say, you sure about watching all our stuff? You sure you're making the right decision? Sure you're not watching the right content?
You sure about that? You sure about that? That's why? You sure it wasn't because after the thing that happened to me, no one could look at me without dying laughing? You sure about that? You sure about that's not why?
Yeah. You sure about that's not why you're watching us?